as God was guiding me on this journey, I didn't understand why he was taking me down all these rabbit holes that he was taking me down. But now I understand why. Because you have to understand the fundamental reasonings of our existence. And Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, they give great examples, and they're great teachers of the fundamental ways and theories of our existence. Breath work, frequencies, symbols, vibrational states, consciousness. Those are all major fundamental concepts. Those are major concepts that we need to understand in our life. Because if we don't understand them, we won't understand what's about to happen to us. Okay? Now, I have done a lot of research, and the energy work, the frequencies, the vibrations, the breath work, all of that plays important roles in our connection to different dimensions, our connection to the heavenly realm, to the celestial realm. No church is going to teach you what you're supposed to be, what state you're supposed to be in Passover, so that you don't lose your direction to Jesus. So don't lose that connection to Jesus and get lost in what they would refer to as dark realms. What we're facing is beyond human concepts in most thinking patterns. Most people don't think of these things that I'm about to talk about. Never, ever runs through their mind. But because I have a connection to Heavenly Father like I never knew that I had, if I knew what I know now, I would have had this connection when I was a teenager. I would have saved myself so many headaches. But because we're human, we live and we learn by our trial and error. Now, what I'm about to tell you is a lot to do with something that I posted earlier today about this weapon. It's a crystal, a crystal encasement. Probably never even heard of it, have you? I never did before today. I never understood that before today. I understood crystals. I understood what they do, what their representations are. I understand that. But I didn't understand the depths and the power and the weaponry that they're using behind crystals. Now, remember when I told you everything has a frequency? Everything. Even crystals have a frequency. But there's something very, very delicate about a crystal. Because a crystal can literally reform your DNA, its structure. It can put it back to its original state. And a crystal can be inverted. its power, its frequency can be inverted. And that is what they have done with this weapon, is they inverted the crystal so that it can create chaos. It can create imprisonment. It can create a trapping of souls. It can create illness. It can create death. So I wanted to give you a little bit of history that you never learned in school. Now, the history lesson I'm about to give you, it's outside of this world, okay? There's this place called the Orion Council and the Orion System. Now, that is the place that came up with the idea for this crystal. But it was supposed to be a network system. A network system that connected abilities, psychic abilities across the universe. It was supposed to connect psychically to each planet system so that each planet would be able to connect to a different planet using their mind. This project was called the Great Rift, okay? And the Orion Empire came up with the concept. Now, they had a group of people that went rogue on them and joined their opponent called the Draco constellation. And the Draco constellation are draconians. Now, they're related to the reptilians. Now, the reptilians are a cold, calculating, power-hungry, arrogant group of people. Now, 200,000 people went rogue against the Orion Empire. And they sold out the secrets to their Great Rift project. And they inverted the crystal and turned it into a weapon. Now, the Orion Empire, they were trying to bring people together. And they were trying to bring worlds together, where the Draconians, their main purpose is to conquer, take over, and subdue, and turn people into slaves, or beings into slaves. Well, with this weapon that they designed, they destroyed the Orion Empire and left it devastated, and millions of people died. And then they took this same weapon and they brought it to Earth, and they destroyed Atlantis with it. And to this day, they're still using that same weapon. Now, that weapon has to do with frequencies. It has to do with vibrations. And it's all encompassed inside of a crystal. The power is. I don't know what the weapon looks like. I have no idea. But I understand the concept of what they've done. And I'll have to take this to a part 4.